I-69 Southern Edition. Let's go. We are going to be going over a lot today, but first of all, once again, thank you so much to all the support, the comments, everything. It's awesome. Make sure you go vote and check out our merch and do all that fun stuff. Thank you very much. So, we're going to start right here where we left off last time, looking right down at Tennessee. Now we're gonna take 45W and 51 South to Union City and eventually Memphis. But what they don't mention is this is actually I-69. It's just unsigned I-69. Now we're here a little. This is a little ways down the road on I-51 slash I-69 unsigned, and Tennessee has been doing some work. You can see I-51 is just existing there, but then I-69, wherever it says I-69, that's on new construction. That's not currently working right now, but they're making I-69 a thing, and that's good. And even in the suburbs area, I'm not gonna show everywhere, but if you look at some of the satellite footage, you can see that there's work being made, and they're actually trying to start work on I-69 in Tennessee. So good job, Tennessee. So we are skipping ahead a little bit. So it continues on US 51, and then from there, I-69 is about to join I-40 right outside of Memphis. As you can see here, this is the on-ramp to I-40 right there. So I-69 will follow I-40 west towards Little Rock. However, just a few minutes later, on a few exits later, I-69 will leave I-40 and follow I-240 south towards Jackson, Mississippi. Soon after that, I-69 will join I-55 south, continuing into Mississippi. Now, if you haven't noticed, in Tennessee, I-69 construction is there, but they don't really recognize I-69 at all on any roads. But as soon as we enter Mississippi, this is the first exit in Mississippi, you can see that I-69 suddenly reappears and is on the sign with I-55 for Jackson. And as we can see here, I-69 is now heading towards Tunica and casinos in the middle of Mississippi. That's fun. Soon after that, I-69 and I-269 have a junction with I-55, which means I-69 will be leaving I-55 and finally going to its own pavement. Now that we're out of Tennessee, I just wanted to show you guys this. Tennessee DOT has it on the website now that they are trying to work on I-69 in northern Tennessee, but southern Tennessee is it's being ignored right now, probably because Memphis is a big area that takes a lot of time. But right now, yeah, Tennessee is working on northern I-69. They don't know if they're going to end up doing southern I-69, but it's in the works, which is good to know. And we can see here, Tunica is our primary destination right now at a whopping 29 miles away. And we are about to leave Mississippi 304, which we have been concurrent with, and go onto our own pavement with Mississippi 713 to head towards Tunica. And just like that, I-69 has ended once again, because now there will be no more I-69 pavement till we hit the state of Texas. So let's go over where it's going to actually go. So this was the Mississippi State's I-69 website. As you can see, it's definitely not like an I-69 website. The website is just like about spas and hotels and all that kind of stuff. So, as you can see, Mississippi doesn't really care that much about I-69, I guess. But we do know for sure that in their state, I-69 is going to have to cross the Mississippi at some point. Looking at the situation a little bit more closely, I've been able to identify where they intend to have I-69 cross the Mississippi. They intend to make a new bridge from Benoit, Mississippi to Arkansas City, Arkansas, from which I-69 will then travel through the towns of Monticello and then go around Magnolia and El Dorado before crossing into northern Louisiana. Now, it'll also meet with I-530, which is to be extended down to Monticello from Pine Bluff. But again, there's no work on this at all, so it's kind of just who knows what's currently happening. Now, in Louisiana, again, there's no work, no idea what's going on there. I-69 is currently going to serve as a bypass around Shreveport as it goes around the east and south of Shreveport before heading straight into Texas. So it has very short time in the state of Louisiana, but it does meet with I-20 and I-49, so there is some use there. Texas is the last and final state of I-69, but here there is some parts of I-69 done, but on the way in, it pretty much will just go on I-59 all the way down to Houston. So this is in Cleveland, Texas, where where US 59, which I-69 runs off of, is starting to become a highway. But there is no I-69 signage till we reach the inner Houston area. Here we are as US 59 / I-69 reaches the outskirts of Houston. We are meeting the first of the three loops. We are meeting Toll Roads 99. You can see here that on Texas Toll Road 99, we are finally getting signage for I-69. And now at random interchanges, you can see that I-69 is signed along with US 59. Here we are near the Bush International Airport in near downtown Houston. And also at this point, I-69 also has a express lanes. I just wanted to let you guys know. And so yeah, here we are going by the airport. Now, as we are heading closer and closer into Houston, we are meeting the middle ring, Sam Houston Parkway, also known as Texas 8. So yeah, we are meeting that here right now. We are assigned for Houston on I-69 South as we come into town. From 8, we are assigned for South Houston and North Airport and Cleveland, which makes sense as Cleveland is kind of where I-69 US 59 the highway starts. So I guess that kind of makes sense. And here we are heading into the inner ring of 610. So yeah, we've made it. And just after this, we'll be able to see the skyline of Houston. So here we are meeting I-10, and we are assigned south to Victoria and east and west for Beaumont and San Antonio on 10. But I feel like we should still be signed for downtown Houston on 69, even though actually there is a downtown destination sign, Jackson Street, but like we're not out of the Houston area yet. Victoria is not really that big. I would say like Laredo, because that's where 169 will go, or Brownsville, something like that. Just Victoria's kind of small. I don't know if it's really worth it. I know 59 goes there, but like that's not really an important place for I-69 ever. It never will be. Welcome to Houston, Texas. And we can get a pretty good view of the skyline from I-69, so it's pretty nice to see. And here we are meeting I-45, signed for Galveston and Dallas, as we head south and start heading away from Houston. And from 45, we can see 69 North is signed for Cleveland, but it's weird. Actually, it's also weird because, I mean, I know we're coming south of downtown, but from here you want to sign something for 10, because you would not be going to Cleveland this way. And then what's weird is for the south, on any street view on I-45 from like the last 10 years, it just says South Victoria, not US 59, not I-69, just South Victoria. It's weird. But yeah, as you can see, we are continually signed for Victoria. And from 45, we can see 69 North is signed for Cleveland, but it's weird. Actually, it's also weird because, I mean, I know we're coming south of downtown, but from here you want to sign something for 10, because you would not be going to Cleveland this way. And then what's weird is for the south, on any street view on I-45 from like the last 10 years, it just says South Victoria, not US 59, not I-69, just South Victoria. It's weird. But yeah, as you can see, we are continually signed for Victoria. And here we are meeting I-610 once again on the other side of Houston. And there is some kind of express lane for US 59, but we're not really going to cover that. And here we are meeting the West Park Tollway, which will take you straight over to Sam Houston Tollway in just a little bit. So it's kind of like a bypass if you want to head north on 8. And here we are meeting the Sam Houston Tollway 8 as we head out of town and start heading towards Victoria. And here we are meeting US 90 Alt, because US 90 its proper is on I-10, but this is US 90 Alt, which kind of goes through South Houston and then meets up with I-10 on the other side. And here we are meeting Texas 99, which is the third loop, but it's not done here. This is the end of Texas 99 as you go. Because here you have to go all the way around, and then it ends at I-10 on the other side. Because between here and 10 it's not complete, but that's a story for another day. Soon after that, in the town of Beasley, which is right outside of Houston, there's like one town in between it and Houston, we see that I-69 is no more, and we are now on US 59. Here we are in Victoria, south of Victoria actually. We can see that US 59 is meeting US 77, and this is where the first of the 369 spurs will split off, this being 69E, if I'm not mistaken, which will follow US 77. So let's go down 69E's future route right now. And soon after that, on US 77, we meet I 37. So we're going to head south on I 37, heading for Corpus Christi. And a little bit down the road, we get a sign for 69E, sign for Kingsville and Brownsville. The I 69E is not there everywhere. Some places it's still just US 77. So let's head on over to the area where I 69E is truly there. We are here in Harlingen, where you can see that I 69E does reappear. So we're going to continue south on I 69E/US 77. Here we are meeting I 2, the saddest freeway ever to exist, signed west for McAllen. This is from I 2. We can see that north I 69 is signed for Raymondville and Corpus Christi, and south is signed for Brownsville. Good signage there all around. Here we meet Texas 550/secret I-169 for the port of Brownsville, whereas I-69E continues south towards downtown Brownsville. Here in Brownsville, downtown Brownsville, the I-69 goes away and is just replaced with the Veterans International Bridge as we approach the Mexican border. And this is the end of I-69E. So now let's go back and check out I-69C and I-69W. This time at this intersection, we are going to follow US 59 towards Goliad and Laredo. Here we meet I-37, but we are not hopping on it this time. We are just going to go right underneath it. Now we are going to be meeting US 281. So here, I-69C will turn left. I-69W would continue on US 59, but we are following I-69C, so we're going to head south towards Alice. Here in Edinburgh, Texas, we start to see that I-69C starts appearing on interchanges and is a highway here, so it's actually visible here. And soon after that, we meet I-2, where we end, signed for Harlingen over McAllen. Now back here in George West, we are going to continue on US 59, head towards Laredo. Here on the outskirts of Laredo, we turn right and head on to the Laredo Loop. And soon we meet I-35, signed for Laredo and San Antonio, but there's still no sign of I-69W. From I-35, you can see that I-69W is signed for the World Trade Bridge, which it will cross to head into Mexico. And just like that, we come to the end of I-69W at the Mexican border. Alright, let's look at the control cities for the whole of I-69 South first. So I'd say we're going from the very beginning. So Flint and Detroit first, then just Flint, Lansing, then Detroit comes back during the I-96, and Fort Wayne, then Fort Wayne/Chicago till we meet I-94, Fort Wayne again, just on its own, Indianapolis, Dayton, because we're using the I-465, Cincinnati for 74, Louisville for 64, Evansville once we're on our own freeway again, Nashville/Paducah during the very beginning of I-69 in Kentucky, because it's the directions make sense for Nashville, then Paducah, then Fulton/Memphis, and then Memphis. Then after that, now I would say Jackson is a good idea just because it's with I-55 and that's the biggest thing in that area. Then it meets Arkansas. Then I would say Arkansas just because it's one of the biggest cities that I-69 runs through for the area. Then once you're in Arkansas, you can go for Monticello because once you're in state, it's fine. Monticello is big enough there. Then I would say Shreveport, Houston, and then after Houston, because Shreveport, I think right after you meet I-20, you can go straight to Houston, and then from there, from Houston, you can go Corpus Christi/Laredo for both I-69s, and then Corpus Christi once you're on I-69E, Harlingen and Brownsville once you're off of I-37, and then Brownsville to Mexico, and then just Mexico. I-69C should just be McAllen, and then I-69W should be Laredo/Mexico, and then Mexico. So for I-69W, I would say just sign it from Houston, just from the beginning, because there's no other big cities on the way. I-69E, I'd say you can sign Corpus Christi and Houston. And then I-69C, you can do San Antonio and Houston, because US 281 goes straight to San Antonio. And then once they converge, just go straight up Houston. Then after Houston, I would say skip Cleveland. I know Cleveland's there right now, but you can change that. I would say put Shreveport and Texarkana, because US 59 is going to go to Texarkana. And then after that, I would say put Jackson once you meet I-49. That way, I-20, it's a bypass of Shreveport for some people, so they can use the bypass to get to Jackson. Then I would say Arkansas. And then once you're in Arkansas, again, Monticello. Then from there, just straight up Memphis. Everyone knows what Memphis is. It's the fastest route from there, so it makes sense. And then from Memphis, I would say just go with Kentucky, because there's no other big cities along the way. No one really cares about Fulton. And then from there, you can go with Paducah once you're in Kentucky, or just a little bit before. Then Nashville, Louisville once you're on I-24. Then Evansville, Louisville. I would say then after, because the direction again, once you make the 90-degree turn, some traffic may stay on heading to Louisville using I-65. So after that, you can do Evansville, Indianapolis, because Indianapolis is a big place. Evansville is sort of big, so it makes a good secondary. And then after that, straight up Indianapolis. Then from there, Cincinnati, because of the I-465. Same with Dayton. And then I would say Fort Wayne / Toledo, just because of that US 22 thing with I-469. So it's pretty good way to get to Toledo faster. So I think it should be signed. Then Fort Wayne, then Lansing, Flint / Grand Rapids during that I-96 thing, then just straight Flint, then Port Huron, and after that, London, Canada, if you need to, or you can just go Canada, or just put Port Huron on to the very end. Thank you guys so much for watching this video about I-69. We will be back with the loops of Houston next, so I will see you guys then. Thank you very much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.